What's going on, guys? Horror Junkies back with another video.
Today.
Yes. Looks like today
We're doing something a little different.
We are doing something a little different.
We're not reviewing a movie. We're reviewing a documentary.
Yes, and it is the Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story.
Robert.
So, guys, if you have not checked this out, it's a must. It is definitely a must. And we're going to get into this story of Robbie. But before we do that, we definitely appreciate you guys if you would hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up button, and go and hit that notification bell. That way, every time Horror Junkies puts out a new video, you get a notification right away. And we would definitely appreciate all three of those. So, man, right off the bat, this was probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in my life. They tell you things about Robert Englund that I didn't even know. He did way more than just horror. A lot of people just know him as Freddy.
And he's actually been in a lot of movies even before Freddy.
Yes, I believe he was in a horror movie before Nightmare on Elm Street. He did a TV show, which a lot of us older people know as V. He played a nerdy alien type of dude. But his resume goes all the way back to 1973, I believe. And actually before that, he did some child stuff too.
He did some what?
Some child stuff, child acting.
Oh.
What? No.
I was like,
no.
What?
No. No. Don't you ever say that about Robbie again.
About Robbie. It basically goes through him as a kid all the way up until present day.
Yeah, his whole career. And pretty much every role that he has ever done, which is really cool because there's a lot of things. He done some World War II movies. He's done just a vast variety of things that he has done in his career, and he's still doing things. There's some horror movies that he's done that I didn't even know about.
Mm-hmm. Some actually pretty recently.
Yes, he's directing, writing, and doing other things like that.
And weirdly enough, his wife's name is Nancy.
Yes,
that's fucking weird.
Yes,
they got interviews from everybody though. They got Heather Langenkamp, Tony Todd.
Oh yeah, Doug Bradley, Kane Hodder. I can't remember his name right off the bat, but the guy that played the Wishmaster.
Oh yeah, they got Chop Top.
Yes,
they got pretty much everybody in here.
There's a lot of people, and a lot of people give respects to Robert Englund on his method of acting, on how seriously he takes his roles. He also helps
out, like, whenever he's doing a movie or something. He doesn't even just show up, do his part, and then leave. He actually helps, like, the camera crew and shit.
Yes. They say it even goes down to the fact that he knows what type of lens is in the camera for each shot that he does, so he can kind of position himself to get the best shot. Which is absolutely amazing. Loves his fans, 100%. They basically say when he goes to a horror con that he pretty much treats that person he's giving an autograph to like they're the only person in the room with him. And he does not let them leave unless he smiles at them and pretty much gives them all his attention.
And he's not one of those celebrities that just hurries up and signs shit.
Right, right. They go through a wide range of his career, from the acting to the writing to the directing. He basically, and one of the things he did say in this was he would rather just act than to direct or anything like it. He said directing is a very big challenge and he can do it, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, pretty much.
Yeah, because you're on tight schedules, money schedules, and all this other shit.
Yeah, and I believe that most of the things that he directs and writes, he's also in himself. So that's 3 different jobs, 4 maybe, making sure everybody's taken care of. He does also help other stars too. There's wide ranges of movies that he's been in that he gives stars pointers. They say he's just the actor that nobody really knows about just because of how friendly, how helpful as a fellow actor, how he helps everybody out on the scene and on the set. And it's absolutely really cool.
And we found out some stuff in this documentary that just blew our fucking minds. Like, one of the things that you find out is Robert Englund actually went in and read for the part of Han Solo.
Yes.
In Star Wars. And Robert Englund actually took the script home, and he was friends with Mark Hamill and actually gave the script of Star Wars to Mark Hamill.
Yes, that's how he got the part.
That's how Mark Hamill got the part.
Yes.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah, the fact that he auditioned for Han Solo I had no clue.
And apparently Robert Englund was also one of the guys to bag up all the leaves to give to John Carpenter for the original Halloween.
Yes. He's auditioned for a lot of different movies that a lot of people don't know about. And you find out these movies in this documentary. Absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen. I've seen some things on him, but nothing in this depth of his career. And I do believe Bloody Disgusting ought to do more of these. They are the ones that did this story for him. And I really wish they would do more for, like Kane Hodder and
Tony Todd
and Doug Bradley, all the old school horror guys, it tells you the grueling hours and things that he had to go through to become Freddy.
And one of the things we actually found out from this documentary is how he, I don't know how to word it, how he took the approach of getting into the character.
Got in the
Freddy.
mindset. Yes.
Got in the mindset. He was basically looking at all these young actors like Heather Langenkamp and Johnny Depp and all these other people. And he's like, they're just such beautiful people. They don't have to spend hours and hours in a makeup chair. And I was kind of jealous. So
well, yeah, and to add to that how it kind of pissed him off was they would get on set, and while he was going through hours and hours of makeup, they were walking around laughing and joking and having fun. And it actually, he actually said it pissed him off. And so he was like, yeah, I can't get mad at these people because they're beautiful people. They're young. All of them are just, they got their whole careers ahead of them. He said, and instead of lashing out about it, he used that.
And put it into the character.
And put it into the character and used it to motivate him to get in the character a lot more, which is really cool to hear. A lot of love for Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah.
A lot of love. There's one part in the documentary where one of her kids died of brain cancer, and he was there the whole time.
He was the first person to call her.
Yes. really cool. Everybody that's been in a movie with him that's in this, they show him a lot of love. They say this guy is one of the best guys that you could ever have to work with. Um,
They revealed when Freddy versus Jason was starting to become a thing, and everybody was getting really excited for it. Robert Englund and Kane Hodder was really excited for it. They couldn't wait, and then pretty much they reveal uh, how Robert felt about it and everything. That Hollywood basically just screwed over Kane Hodder at the
yeah,
last second.
they shit on him, and it was everybody couldn't wait to see, and it wasn't really Jason versus Freddy.
It was
It was
England versus Hodder.
yes, and this and basically they said both these guys were super excited to make this movie together, and at the last minute they shit on Kane, and Kane being the guy he is, obviously he's a pretty good guy. He was like, I couldn't be mad at Robert for taking the role and actually doing the movie, even though they kind of shit on me at the last minute. But they've done numerous of things after the fact, which is really cool. It's just it's a must watch, people.
They went into the Hatchet movies where Robert Englund was in it, Tony Todd was in it, and Kane Hodder was in it, obviously as Victor Crowley. And Kane Hodder was just sitting there, both. He's like, I got to kill Freddy, I got to kill Candyman, I got to kill Michael.
Yeah, they also explain how they got Robert on board for Hatchet. They went to him. It's funny because the director or the writer, director, same thing. Same guy did both. He was like he reached out to Robert, and finally Robert calls him back, and he's like so nervous. Like everybody's so nervous to talk to Robert Englund, which is, even Kane and Tony Todd. Much respect for Robert because he is one of the legends. Honestly, for me, if you look back, and Doug Bradley is probably Pinhead, Hellraiser is my number one. But if you think about it, there's been more than one Pinhead. There's been more than one Jason.
There's been more than one Michael.
Yes. And now recently more than one Candyman. There's only been one Robert Englund other than the remake. He's played in every one of them except for the remake. And he has to be the number one horror icon on the planet.
It's actually there's a part in this documentary that was actually pretty sad to find out. Like Robert Englund loves Freddy Krueger, but like the character, but there was so many things and roles that he wanted to do, but he couldn't. He had to turn them down because basically people wouldn't let him go. They wouldn't let him go do it.
Well, and finally he basically says he accepted the fact that he was Freddy. And so with that role became there were he ended up getting more and more horror roles, and some were and he actually loves the fact that he's in horror movies where he's not in makeup. He embraces those actually. That's what got him to do Hatchet and a couple of other ones that he's done, because he wasn't in makeup. And if he was, it was very little. And a lot of the horror movies that came out after Nightmare, these directors wanted and writers wanted to see him outside of the makeup. And they really liked that. And so he really embraced being Freddy and accepted the fact that that's what he's going to be known for. You know, even though there was roles that he wanted to take and he couldn't take because of the schedule with Nightmare on Elm Streets, he ended up accepting it and being good with it, you know.
And they went into some movies that we actually didn't know about that look really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like The Mangler, which is apparently a Stephen King book that he looks fucking awesome in. And then
there's definitely some ones I'm gonna have to check out.
And then a movie he did back in 2016 with Lin Shaye called The Midnight Man.
Yes.
Which looked really good. But they went into that, and I was The Midnight Man came on, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So, guys, if you've not seen this, it's definitely worth the buy.
And the picture on the back of the book or the back of the case is just fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
It's not even him in makeup; it's just him outside of makeup looking at the glove.
Got the steel box. Love it. Absolutely awesome. If you guys have not seen this or kind of contemplated on watching it, definitely go pick it up. Check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. We're sitting here talking about this documentary, and it's still not spoiling nothing because you're going to see it and you're going to see everything that this guy's went through. There's a lot we haven't mentioned. And
we're only so limited on time, and it's like an almost 3-hour documentary. So.
Yeah, it was lengthy, and it was very enjoyable the whole way through. And
if you guys also know any more documentaries like about other iconic horror actors like Tony Todd or Doug Bradley like that does this kind of stuff, let us know.
Oh yeah, leave us a message down in the description below and let us know what you guys know about any other documentaries about main horror people like Kane and just any of them, because I'm definitely down to see some more of these. This was very enjoyable, and I am going to add one last thing. One day there's going to be another Freddy Krueger. There's going to be somebody else in the row. Hopefully.
Well, there already was.
Well, yeah, but we're just gonna have to accept that at some point. Everybody's gonna have to accept that somebody else is gonna play him. Somebody else is gonna be Freddy, but there's never gonna be another Robert Englund. He is the one that made this role iconic. And nobody's ever going to beat him playing this role. Just hopefully we can get close to somebody who can do almost as good a job as he did in this role.
Well, there's going to come a point in time where all these actors just either get too old to do it or they die.
Yeah, I mean, he is, 78?
He's 76.
76?
Almost 80 years old.
He's getting up there.
And y'all want him to come back for another movie.
And like he said, when they did Freddy versus Jason, he said he had a hard time doing that movie because he was already getting up there in age and he did most of his own stunts. And he said it took a toll on him. So this is why he doesn't want to play the role again. He's done with it. He's 76 years old. I mean, I'd be done with it too. He's probably done it longer than he probably wanted to.
He was Freddy through most of the 90s.
Yes. Yeah. So, guys, check this out. It's definitely worth a watch. Like always, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and now on Instagram. That's going to be it for the Robert Englund story. The Roblet. The Robert Englund story. and a snack.
A snack for Robbie.
This is Horror Junkies, and we're out.